Hello guys, welcome back to Zombie Vega. We are in Minecraft today and checking out the Sculk Sensor. Now the Sculk Sensor is one of the new features added to 1.17 and they released it in one of the snapshots. It is wireless redstone, the block I'm holding now. Now it is a really interesting block. We'll just go through some of the things that it can currently do. I am, as we are speaking, in 21007, so we still have quite a bit to go. But let's check out what it can do currently. So what I've done here is the same as my last video. We'll just go through what this can do. So the Sculk sensor has the ability to pick up sounds, and if you look at this little carpet of Sculk sensors, you can see it's this little vibrating motion that it's got. If I walk, it picks up and they activate. So as I'm walking around here, they are activating. If we go up into the sky, you'll see that it looks a bit nicer. I'm just going to drop this block. As you see, it just spreads out. Now it's got a certain radius that it can detect the sound, and so this one picked up and it literally just made this nice little circle that you've got. So there is two different ways that you can get a signal from these, via comparator and direct out of it. So if you look here, you'll see that I've got Redstone Signal coming out, and this changes according to whatever sound that you make. So if I'm eating something, it will make something completely different. Let's just grab an apple, for instance, to show. So I've just dropped a block. Don't know why I didn't pick that one up. So eating gives me a different signal strength if I'm using the comparator, where if I'm walking direct, it literally just picks up how far I am. And as you can see, this one has a direct output. So the further away I am, the less the signal becomes. Versus this one, which is a comparator, this one picks up the signal and outputs it the same way the whole time. Eating will give me a certain one. Let's just clear the weather. Seems to always want to rain. So that is the difference between the two. So this one has a signal on the noise and how far the noise is, similar to what you see here. And this one uses a comparator to look at the type of noise you've got. Now this lends itself to be able to add a small little circuit like this with a comparator in subtract mode. If we do that, I've set the book to 7, I think. So if I'm walking around, the Sculk sensor will not pick up or activate anything. It is in subtract mode. Walking has a certain level that the Sculk sensor will then put out, and I'm subtracting that. So if I eat, I get a redstone signal, where versus walking will not activate it. You can see walking activates this one. Eating only it will activate both, but it only activates this one. So you can take out certain sounds and only activate it on certain events. There is a whole list of what is currently mobs walking, blocks being placed. So if I place a block, it will activate and it gives a different strength. So there's different ways to utilize that in this. Now the nice part is it's also wireless redstone. So this one activates, and I'm using trapdoors to show that if it activates, it will just go into a nice little loop, and this one activates the next one, activates the next one. So the trapdoors activate them. I've placed the trapdoors at such an angle or such a distance that it will not activate this one if that one activates. So this is just a quick wireless, there we go. So it travels at a certain tick speed, it will get to the end, and what I've done here is I've got a send and receive. This will just go around in the loop. But you will also notice that I've got wool blocks in here. Now that is the sound occlusion. So if you're using a normal block, so let's actually replace this block. I'm just going to take those out to show you. If I had to remove those blocks, you'll see that these just open and close at the same time, and I'm going to have an endless loop with these guys opening and closing non-stop. If I place something like this is an iron block, I'll just place the iron block in there. It doesn't change that because the sound travels through blocks. But if I place a wool block in there, wool stops sound going through. And I'll show this in the next option as well. So here we've got a standard piston door setup. So this is just a simple setup that will open and close the door. Pretty nice. Now we can replace this leather with a Sculk sensor, but now the pistons are activating it. It's getting out of sync. All the noises coming in is literally causing this thing to go haywire because it is taking in a lot of sound from all over. So let's just see. Now I'll have to rebuild this one, but right next door, I've got the same setup as there, right at the start, with the Sculk sensor. The only change is that I now have wool here. So now this door becomes usable, just using wool. So wool has the ability to, you can use the Sculk sensor for a wireless activation, in this case, for a door or for other contraptions, but if you don't use the wool, you're going to end up with something like this where the whole thing needs to be rebuilt to work. So just to give you the exact same, to show you exactly what happens again, it just goes in an endless loop because it's picking up sounds and it's causing this thing to go haywire. Wool fixes that. What I've done here is, if you look below this, you'll see that there is a whole bunch of Sculk sensors. Now, one of the things is that they really worked on this not producing any lag. So if you look at this, it's this whole area is now filled with Sculk sensors, and it actually shows you quite nicely when you're walking. This is a nice indication to show exactly how that radius works. So you can see I dropped that and we get this nice radius in this area. I'm just going to do another one, and there is a cooldown timer. So you will notice that if I keep on dropping them, there is a cooldown timer of a certain amount of ticks. I think it's 2 game ticks before they can activate again, so that they don't cause issues. What you will also notice is this is loud. If you're walking around here, this is pretty bad, and you can clearly hear this activating. The same goes with me trying to activate this door. There you can hear, and you can still see the particles flying from me as it's picking up sound, but you can still hear the Sculk sensor going off. Now, they added the ability to silence them by waterlogging the Sculk sensors. So these Sculk sensors, as you can see, making no noise. And more importantly, you can hear they are making zero noise. So you can waterlog these, and that will cause your them to become silent, and this is a huge difference compared to if you had to walk around and hear this. So that is the Sculk sensor in a nutshell. Kept it very basic just to show what it can currently do, how it's working. You can actually see here now with these villagers and the cat as they're walking around, they are activating it. So yes, this is a very awesome block. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of contraptions built with it. Mojang is working on changing and adding regarding our feedback, so I'm sure as soon as they are released in the snapshot as generating with the new mobs that this is linked to, we'll just get more info and maybe more uses for that. So that's it, guys. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. If you want to see more of this, hit that subscribe. Until next time, this has been Zombie Vega. Bye.